everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive is an indie game that has garnered a good bit of attention since it was announced. Now that it's finally out, we can take a look at it by first going over the gameplay. The gameplay of Pacific Drive does have a good amount of driving, as the name would imply. While being a survival game first and foremost, the game does take cues from roguelikes, immersive sims, and driving simulators, of course. The gameplay loop largely consists of driving out into unstable areas with your station wagon, scavenging for resources, many of which you'll find by scrapping, and then moving on before the storm comes your way. All the while, you'll also encounter anomalies of instability. After each trip out on unstable roads, you'll make your way back to the garage, where you'll restock on supplies as well as repair your car and unlock upgrades. The game foregoes giving your character upgrades, instead giving the upgrades to your car, from bolstering the defenses or a more powerful engine to adding equipment to the car. With the upgrades at your disposal, there is plenty to work towards while also figuring out the story of the game. Speaking of, let's go over why you're there in the first place. The story of Pacific Drive takes place in the Olympic Exclusion Zone in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. The Exclusion Zone is an area of the Pacific Northwest that has been sealed off, preventing anybody from getting in or out, at least in theory. The zone was closed off due to the growing threat of the spread of instability in the area, creating anomalies that manifest in several different ways, such as heaps of scrap floating rocks, or mannequins placed in poses, among many other anomalies. At the beginning of the game, your character is driving a station wagon near the zone, and unexpectedly, you get teleported into the exclusion zone. From there, you must find your way out of the zone with the help of the locals who have learned to live in the zone. What will you encounter or have to endure before you escape? But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat? There's something about the aesthetic of this game that I just found very, very comfy. It's the sort of game where I can just put it on and I can relax for a bit, at least until the storm comes in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, you're like the first person that said comfy, relaxing when it comes to this game. Okay, I'll let you continue.
And I don't condone drinking and driving, but maybe this is a game where you could sit back and relax with a cold little beer in your hand and, you know.
I am just mind blown. You were coming off right off the bat with the most mind blowing take of Pacific Drive that I have not heard of yet. Continue.
Really?
This is a work of art. I love it.
Maybe I just find the Pacific Northwest aesthetic really comforting, you know, being out in the forest and being one with nature. And then seeing a mannequin out of nowhere pop up and be like, That's not comfy to you?
Well, I mean, this game will drive you crazy, spinning your wheels in madness, but you won't be able to resist not taking it for another lap in your station wagon. I mean, you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's something about, you know, going with the feeling of returning back from a run is something that I've not experienced yet in a video game like Pacific Drive. That is one of the major kudos. I think it's really, really fun when you have to go on these, you know, these missions where you enter these zones with all kinds of different environmental aspects that are going to be hitting your station wagon as you play this game. And, you know, you're going to be collecting, you know, anchors, which then open up portals. And then this crazy, like, light beam, you know, shoots from the sky. Yeah. And then you're, like, racing back, you know, to teleport back to your garage with all the resources that you've gathered in your trunk. And I've never felt that high adrenaline rush in any kind of video game in my life for a driving game. Yeah, for a driving game like this.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like I was saying, there's the comfy aspects of it, you know, going around just scavenging for materials, and that part is comfortable. When you're exiting and the zone is right on your vehicle and you're taking damage, that's where it does get a little hectic. Well,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, how do you start off? How do you start off your verdict by saying this is a comfy game? You're lying to the people out there that are thinking about this game.
Maybe I'm just someone who's okay with some chaos in my life.
I'm just telling you, like, this station wagon in Pacific Drive reminds me of my Ford Explorer right now. You know, it has a mind of its own, right? You know, when you're heading back and you're trying to enter that teleport so you can get back to the garage with all your resources, random things will start to affect your car because it has its own personality. Like, you know, you'll be driving back and then out of nowhere, your battery's draining so rapidly you don't even know where the source is coming from. You know, it will drive you mad, but then you're going to want to keep repeating the cycle because there's something going on with like the story mechanics behind it that keeps you engaged to want to keep rebuilding, restocking, upgrading your vehicle so you could pursue the next zones throughout the game. But I've been wondering this, Henrik, when auto mechanics play these kind of games like Car Mechanic Simulator and now Pacific Drive, do they get PTSD? I'm just wondering, because there's a lot happening with these kind of cars, and I'm just wondering if this
coming into a garage and like missing some panels off the side.
Exactly, the rim fell off, window shield broken,
Yeah.
Is this harmful for you auto mechanics out there?
It might be. It might be. I mean, at least the work to fix up your car in this game is real simple. It can be a little complicated at first to learn the systems that the game presents to you. Things like, oh, okay, you have to craft these parts to make these parts, and you need to have these materials, and you need to go out and get more materials probably. It ends up being kind of complicated to get into, but when it all just clicks and you get it, it's very satisfying, and you end up just in a flow state of going into a run, getting the materials, coming back to the garage, fixing up your car, unlocking some upgrades, and then repeat. Just go back in.
Exactly. And I'm just going to say it for all the gamers out there. It's not going to be for everybody because certain people are going to feel like me and you're going to get revved up. But I'm on a level of liking this game because it's very, very refreshing. And I'm super excited that that same kind of vibe that I was getting from the trailers months ago is giving me that same experience jumping into this game. And ignore a lot of the negative comments that are coming around this game. I didn't even realize that, video game industry, or at least in the community of gamers, we're now starting to look like the metal community, where we're starting to create subgenres around video games. Like now this game's being labeled as gender politics. Have you heard about this drama as of yet around this game, Henrik?
Because of some of the stickers and cosmetics, right?
I mean, how stupid is that?
A classic thing.
Right. I mean, gamers have the opportunity to unlock sticker packs, and people are upset that in one of the sticker packs, there's a diverse range of gender and sexual identities. Okay, listen, look, if you don't like it, don't put it on your vehicle. It's that simple. Like, I'll be the first one to admit, I don't necessarily understand all the social issues out there, but I don't let that rock my boat. That's not going to deter me from not wanting to jump in my station wagon and continuing to play Pacific Drive. So if you're really going to allow that to dictate a game, and I guess that's on you. But I'm just amazed that got flustered in with Pacific Drive. It's starting to sound like Suicide Squad killed the Justice League all over again, where people complain, oh my gosh, I see a rainbow flag. Really? This is 2024. We're done with that. Please stop with all the nonsense. But
because you get the choice of whether or not you want to even, go the route of customizing with stickers like that. And if you want to make your car all blacked out or all green, cool.
Put some flames on it. Make it look like the Scooby-Doo. I've seen some renditions like that as well.
I've seen that too.
There's a lot of fun things that you can do to adapt with your vehicle. I think it's an amazing game. I'm really stoked for it. And I'm even hearing reports that this video game was created by 20 people. So kudos. That's remarkable. And I'm going to tell you right now, this game is a repeat, because the game is repetitive in and alone of itself, and you're going to want to go back and play it again. It's a great, great game for $30, and shout out to a beautiful, challenging, and surprisingly unique game.
Yeah, especially considering that the game takes a lot of cues from elements of other genres, like roguelikes and immersive sims. There's interactions you'll have in each run that will be a complete, unique experience to your run, and not something that another person is necessarily going to experience the same in any other way. So that in itself really helps lead to it being a repeat for me as well. And That's why it is a repeat for me, because it's just something you can hop into. And like I was saying at the beginning, I find it kind of comfy. So I can go in, have some fun for a couple hours at least, and then, hop
Oh,
out
because
of the
you
trip and
just
have
always
some...
wanted to fulfill your dreams drinking and driving, right? Is that what? No, I'm just kidding. We do not advocate for that. I'm just joking. But you did say that. You did say that. And
I
that
said I
sounded
don't
like the
condone
most
it,
wild.
but this is a game where you could do it.
I'm kidding. We do not condone that. But you heard it from us. It's both a repeat. Go ahead and pick up Pacific Drive. It's an excellent game.